Good afternoon, friends, and
Why are you laughing?
I don't know. Happy Labor Day. I hope you all are.
Y'all see how she look?
I hope y'all
Don't
not.
she look all
I hope y'all are enjoying your.
melancholy?
I am melancholy. I hope you guys are enjoying.
You cute melancholy.
Thank you. I hope you guys are enjoying your Monday today. And did y'all miss us yesterday? Because actually, you know, we normally get together for.
Yesterday was Sunday.
Was it Sunday?
See?
Lord, I'm thinking today is Sunday, so I'm 2 days late. We normally get together on Saturdays for tea time, our girlfriend time. Sometimes I guess it's not just girlfriend time because we have a couple of fellas that jump in from time to time and just discuss some things with us that we have on our minds. So I was being an auntie, y'all, this weekend.
She's being an auntie and a mammy.
So yeah, so Queen is here today. She told me, she just reminded me it's Monday, so happy Monday. And she and I were having a conversation. I'm actually throwing some burgers and dogs on the grill, so it's gonna be a quick
Say
one.
hot dogs.
Some dogs. I got an attitude today, so
She does. We gotta snap her out of
I'm
this.
throwing some dogs
She gotta snap her out of this.
on the grill.
You want me to
Today.
get up and twerk?
Oh Lord, I'm gonna sing that song.
No.
So she and I were having a conversation, and she asked me a question that actually came from a conversation that we were previously having, and we were talking
As usual.
and we were talking about submission. So she asked me, do you think that women should also submit to boyfriends, you know, so prior to marriage? And I told her absolutely not, which I think she knew that answer already.
Pretty much so.
But I think she just wanted to hear what I was going to say because I shared with her something yesterday that I saw, that I read. And it was a guy that posted it. So that's how the conversation sparked. So ladies, we're going to talk about it for a second today. We're going to talk about it 1 hour today. If you just happen to be in
She
the
made
house.
me set a clock, y'all.
I made her set a timer today because we're going to get in and out today. It's going to be a quickie
bless
today.
it all.
So, ladies, and I think I know what most women might say, but I'm still curious. Do you think that submission is for marriage? And fellas, do you expect, if any fella happens to pop in today, do you expect submission from your girlfriend?
Now, what's your definition first?
Well, I go with the biblical definition of submission. And I'm going to just sum it up. So basically is being led. You're led by someone. You follow their leadership. I guess that's the best way. Am I missing something else that I need to say about it? You're allowing them to make the final decision. Not that you don't have say-so in it, but you express what you need to express, but then you trust them to make a good decision for you. And I guess if you have a family together, your family as well.
Is submission control. So
that's the part where I think that, because I used to hate that word so much, but I was also...
A lot of women.
Yeah, I think I was in a marriage before where a person actually thought that submission was control. It was like, it's like dominating. Mm-hmm. And that's where I think I grew that hate for it. Like, no, it's not control at all. And I guess like that's what I said. The best way I can think about it is how we submit to God. He does not control us. He gives us free will.
Right.
He's a servant leader. So when you think about it in that aspect, it doesn't sound very bad because you have somebody that genuinely loves you, cares for you, has your best interest in mind, you know, is always making decisions with you at heart, wanting what's best for you. Why wouldn't you submit? But generally, I don't think that's what's happening. when ladies are.
So where are the boundaries in that when you're dating? Because sometimes, you know, we can do too much. We can go overboard, and we might not necessarily think of it as submission, but
So I know some people don't like when I say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I feel like you are literally single until you're married. So in a relationship, you're dating, but you're not married. And if I look at it biblically, it only says that wives submit to husbands. So
right.
if you are my boyfriend, my boo thing, my whatever, I don't owe you that. Now I will respect you, but I'm not. Why am I submitting to anything? What am I submitting to?
So is cooking and cleaning a part
Girl,
of?
you already know. If I'm gonna keep going back to that again. Some ladies, I do. I think that ladies need to keep in mind, because I think that's where a lot of ladies get caught up.
I know I've gotten caught up.
You start giving wife privileges to boyfriends.
Yeah, well, I've gotten caught up because that's how I was taught. That's how I was raised. You know, back in the day, you know, that's what I saw. My mom, I didn't even know my mom wasn't married to my daddy, Lord.
Your mom wasn't married to you then?
She wasn't married to him until I got about 30 years old.
I never knew that. Every time she tells me that I always say I'm gonna write a book one day, but Queen really needs to write a book, because every time she shares a piece of her life story with me, I'm always
It is well.
I want to
with
hug
my
her
soul.
and just snuggle her
Okay.
because it's a lot. So I didn't know that.
Yeah, but so was she in error?
I don't know
Because I'm pretty sure her mom raised her to be that way, because she saw her mom do the same thing, you know. So what do you do when this whole generational thing has, you know, came about and stuff, you know? And let me ask another question: is catering and submission the same thing?
No, I think it's okay to a certain extent cater to your partner, do nice things from time to time, but I'm not going to make a habit of doing things that I would consider wife duties, because why would I?
But what is wife duties though?
Well, I think when you marry someone, and I do believe in traditional roles. I think it just depends. If you're a woman that doesn't believe in traditional roles, you might not consider it wife duties.
Right.
But I feel like the woman should take care of home. She should take care of the children. She should make sure the house is in order. She should make sure everything runs smoothly concerning the home environment and the atmosphere. She should provide a sense of, well, not provide a sense of, she should be a nurturer. I think God made women. Yeah, so I'm not going to sugarcoat. Let me not sugarcoat my answers today.
No.
That's what I believe. So, those things that are done in the house.
So can't you...
And I'm not saying a woman can't work. Don't get me wrong. Because
this ain't got nothing to do with no working and stuff. But so can you cater and still be a nurturer without being submissive?
Can you cater? Yes, because I can do nice things for you. I can genuinely be concerned for you, but it doesn't mean that I have to follow you and listen to. And not that I won't listen to what you tell me, but you don't really get the last say. You're not the number one decision maker. If you're a boyfriend, that's just what I believe, though.
So even if you've had a long lasting, because like I said, my mom had been.
I'm not saying anything about your mom, but I'm just saying I don't understand. If you have a long lasting relationship like that, why wouldn't you make it official?
Well, that's a long story for them. Bless their hearts and all their parts. But anywho,
Bless their hearts and all their parts.
I mean, I'll even speak for myself, you know. I was with my ex-husband for a couple of years before we got married, and I'll say that I was giving him submissive because I didn't know no better.
Did you feel? Let me not ask that question because I know that answer.
Say it.
I was about to say, do you feel like you should have been submitting to him?
No. I mean, when I look back now, no. But I didn't know any better because that's what I was taught. I didn't know that was submission. I didn't know that was being submissive.
I think we have to start having conversations with our daughters about these things. And one important thing being who's leading you and who's leading them. And then what type of leadership are they receiving? Because I heard a pastor, I love Bishop T.D. Jakes, and he said it perfectly one day. And I'm going to try and remember exactly how he said it, but don't quote me on this. But he was talking about, you know, women, once you get married, you have to take responsibility in your decision that you made and stick with it. Because, yes, he finds a wife. He that finds a wife finds a good thing. So he finds you.
Yes. But
you agree to marry him. And in essence, if you are a Christian woman and a believer, and I'm not even going to say just Christians, but because I've heard in some other religions as well, you know, that women submit to husbands. So you have to, you made the decision to submit when you accept that man's proposal, you know. So I guess we have to start talking to daughters too about what's important for you when you're deciding to let somebody lead you. Where are they leading you to? You know, you need to have some questions. You need to be able to understand who's leading them, you know. And if God is not the head of your life, baby, you can't be the head of mine either, because I don't know where your decision making is coming from. You know, that's important. So I guess that's what I would have thought, like, instead of me seeing that this is normal, you know, I probably would have been like, well, he crazy. How am I going?
Well, he wasn't crazy at first, so.
Okay. So he was normal at first.
They all do.
They all normal at first. So yeah, ladies, and you can let me know. I mean, I could just be what I hear with some men say, oh, she's stubborn, which I don't care. Is it stubborn or is it stubborn or is it the truth? Because sometimes people don't like you to say the truth or your truth. Because
John.
Queen. See, are you confrontational today? What's wrong with you?
I just feel like he's lurking somewhere.
How are you, Heaven? And Heaven, tell us, what do you agree with? Because I think it shows up a little bit after what was said.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely think it's important to have that conversation with your daughter, because yes, the man finds you. Hey, but
so let's talk about when you have situations and you know, in other cultures where they have arranged marriages, you automatically just become submissive to this person, and you haven't known them or whatever. How do you just? What I'm trying to say is, how can you not date someone and start to be submissive?
I'm not, okay, so when I say I'm not going to be submissive to a boyfriend, it doesn't mean that I won't listen to him. If he's telling me things that make sense, things that are good for me, you know, that I can see that you care and you genuinely have my well-being in mind. If I feel that, what woman would fight when she feels that way, or when she can clearly see?
It is some women.
Well, I don't know those ladies that want to just fight just for the sake of fighting. And yes, if you have somebody that is leading you in the right direction, you naturally, I think, will start
right, because if the whole thing is to lead me to the altar, how do you cultivate the relationship without showing him that I can be submissive?
the same. Well, that's what I'm saying. If he's showing me that I care about you, I'm genuinely concerned about your well-being. I'm making decisions that have your best interest in mind. I naturally would follow. I think any lady would naturally follow, because you don't have a reason to be combative or to say, no, that doesn't make sense. That's not good for me. But I'm saying, if it's decisions that are kind of questionable and I don't trust your judgment and things like that, then that's when I can say, okay, this is not my husband, this is my boyfriend, and I don't really have to follow this.
I think a lot of times, a lot of women think like, being submissive means being okay, yes, sir.
A doormat.
Whatever you say.
That's not what it is.
Whatever you say. Okay, I got it. Y'all do it. No, not true. So how do you in a relationship, do you have to determine that off the rip? Because you're not married, and say that you're in this relationship with someone that you're dating and you see potential in that relationship. How do you figure out where to draw the line, or how do you figure out, how to make boundaries so that, you will not go overboard when it comes to showing him that I can be that kind of woman? Or does he have to naturally see it in you?
I'm not going to go out of the way to prove myself. I think that my actions speak for me. And I think that's with anybody, though. Because somebody could be, I don't even want to hear what you say, but you can watch what somebody does, and I think you can learn more about that person than anything that they can tell you. So, I may not cook dinner for you every night, but you know if I can cook or not. If I prepare a meal a couple of times, I can cook. If you come to my house and my house is in order, I know how to keep a home. If I have children and you see that I take care of my children well, you know that I can be a good mother. So I don't necessarily feel like I have to go proving these things to you by doing things for you. But you can look at my life overall, because I always say this saying that my office has: success leaves clues. You can see what the person has done or what they are, or you can see what they are not. And before we get too far, I want to go back to what Heaven said. She said, I agree. She said, we do have to take accountability for the choice we made to marry and submit. Boyfriends, I wouldn't be submissive to. I would respect them, but I wouldn't follow them. I was with my husband 5 years before we married, and we went half on everything up until we said, I do. I actually kept a very independent mindset until that point. And I love that, Heaven. I really do. Heaven is one of my old students.
Oh, Lord.
We always have a class reunion up in here. It's always, and you know what though, but it's always one of my old students that pop in that I'm just always so, what's the word? I'm so proud. I feel like I always say proud, but it's the truth.
Y'all always have a positive story to tell.
Yeah, Heaven is a businesswoman. She's a mother. She is an excellent wife. She homeschools. I commend women that can homeschool, because I'd be like, if Johnny had 5 apples. So Heaven is I'm just so proud of you, Heaven. But I totally agree. I think it has to be aligned. Otherwise, if I'm giving you everything as the girlfriend, what's your incentive? Like what they say, why to buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Why? I mean, if I'm going to do all of this as your girlfriend, what are we doing here? Why are we playing house?
Right.
Let's make this a house. And if
you think
you don't want to,
that is a part of the decision for some men to kind of back up from marriage because you're doing it for free? You're being submissive for free?
I think that's
if I can say it like that.
I don't even think just being submissive. I think some men probably can get comfortable if you have a woman that is already doing everything that a wife would do. Why do you have to make the extra commitment? Why do you have to go the extra step? What's the purpose? Because you have it all right now anyway. And I know some people say, "Oh, marriage is just a piece of paper." It's
Oh,
a
no.
very important piece of paper.
No, it's not just
You know,
a piece of paper.
go die. Unfortunately, and I'm not saying that's the only benefit, but when you do and you're not, because if you are with this person,
die.
I'm saying if this person happens to pass and you guys weren't married, you could have invested your whole life with this person, but you're walking away with, if they had assets or things that you maybe helped to build or whatever the case may be,
Right.
it's not yours when it's gone, it's gone.
Right.
So that's just one piece of it though.
Right.
And I'm just saying, I personally would not want to be building with someone that doesn't want to commit.
Right.
So I think before I would ever start thinking about submitting to you and following you and trusting your leadership, we need to be where we need to be. And
how
that's
do we
not
so
my
how,
boyfriend.
how do we teach young girls at this stage in our lives to do that without them getting so caught up into the boyfriend girlfriend relationship of it all?
I think we need
How
to
do we
have,
change the narrative?
I think we need to have conversations just like we do all the time. You know, not just have them with each other, but age appropriate conversations for young girls, talking to them about relationships and values and morals and what you should be looking for as somebody who you would potentially allow to marry you. Because yeah, he chooses you, he finds you, but you make the decision if I'm gonna say yes or no. What kind of things are you thinking about before you make the decision to say yes or no?
Do you think men think of being submissive in the same light?
No, I don't. I think that the men who are led properly, they think about it a bit differently than the men who are only following their own agenda. Because I told you I had a crazy ex, and his definition of submission was to dominate and to control. And it's like, I don't even deal with my child like that. My goal is not to dominate or control.
Right.
I want you to be able to trust that you can follow what I'm saying because you can see that what I'm saying makes sense.
You're the head of the household as a man. You're the leader, but you're not my father. I'm not a dog. You're not, you know what I'm saying? And I think they get it misconstrued. And
Some do.
You know,
I very much agree.
and it
that
becomes
some do.
abusive.
Very much. It can definitely be abuse. And I think sometimes that, women have to realize when it's not. Because I said God is the best example of what it should look like.
I remember having to, backtrack and say some things to my daughter, when I started seeing some of the things that I was doing, even in my marriage, that I did, before I got married. And even though it wasn't long, like maybe a year or so before we got married, still, I knew that this ain't right how I did this. And I remember how she would always go to the grocery store for her daughter's father. And she would always say, oh, I got to get him this, I got to get him this, I got to do this, I got to do that. And I stood there and I'm like, where did she get this from? And I'm thinking she got it from me. And I said to her, what about you? What do you want in the grocery store? It's not just about him. What do you want? And I think sometimes that's another thing. No, they weren't married, but we misconstrue because I didn't know what submission was, being submissive was. I didn't know. So I thought me doing this and doing that and taking care of him and going overboard and swinging from the chandelier was being submissive. No, for real.
Not swinging from the chandelier.
Well,
Well, yeah. So
didn't work.
That's where I think is the perfect example of children watch what you do.
Exactly.
You can tell them anything, but what have you shown them? And then I think as adults, if we know that we have not given our children the best examples, and we see that they are getting older, rather than to pretend like we don't know we didn't do the best thing, that's when you have to have a conversation and be honest and have a heart to heart and say, look, I know what I did, but that's not the right thing. If, I can't go back and change that, but I want to acknowledge that I did not do it the right way. And, I don't want you to do it this way.
So further along in our relationship, we were both in the church and everything. So I'm thinking we're doing it the way God would want for us to do it, right?
But the only thing I'm going to say about that, you can have some people that's in the church, but the God ain't in them. They just literally in the church.
That's what I was going to say, because people in leadership roles in the church with titles started telling me, oh, you need to do this, and you need to make sure his dinner is made, and you need to do this, and girl, you need to make sure don't be smelling like fried chicken when you get home.
And did any of those things make him be a better man? I mean, let's just be honest.
Not at all.
So that's what I'm saying. We can have all these conversations about what we think the woman should do, but if you haven't made the best decision about the man that you allowed to choose you, none of it will matter. And people only change if they really want to change. So that's another thing that I think we have to start having conversations about. Look at the person. Can you love this person exactly as they are if they never change? And if you know that you're going to struggle and fight and you're going to cry and you're going to really cry and you're going to cry again,
Yeah, because I started questioning myself, like, wait a minute, I'm doing all these things. People started saying, well, she must not be, and she must not be, and I was.
And it wasn't you at all.
It wasn't me at all.
It's two people.
It wasn't me
in
at
a relationship.
At all.
And if he never took accountability and responsibility for his behavior, you can do everything and it still not make the relationship better. Because what about him?
Do you feel like in previous relationships or marriages, I should say, that your view of submission has changed over time?
Definitely. It has definitely changed. The word doesn't make me cringe like it used to, but I've also gotten wiser where I would not make the decision to marry again if I knew that I could not submit. Or that I didn't want to. I wouldn't even make that decision again to do that because
you wouldn't be able to.
I understand exactly what is expected of me, and I have to be able to do that.
Right. I think that it has changed my view as well and stuff. I think that it has taught me that even if you are submissive, that does not mean that's going to change that person. That does not mean that it's going to make him a better person. But you have to do what the word says, and for you, not for him.
Right.
It's not always about him.
Knowing that, don't allow yourself to go into a situation where this person is not living according to the word, and yet I'm still going to be doing what I know is the right thing. Because do you really want to do that? Do you really want to get yourself in a situation where you already know that they are not led by the word, but you still are going to make the decision to marry them?
Right.
And in that, I'm going to marry you, and now I understand that whether you do the right thing or not, I'm still supposed to do this.
Right.
So that I understood perfectly. Heaven said her phone died. I understood perfectly what Bishop T.D. Jakes meant when he said that. I love you too, Heaven.
Oh, she said her phone died?
Yeah, her phone had died.
Oh, yeah. I truly agree with Bishop Jakes as well and stuff, But I think too that things have changed so tremendously as far as relationship. It's like, how do we break this vicious cycle of girls thinking that they got to go overboard? I know you're saying have the conversation, but what is the conversation?
Well, I think the conversation could start with, for me, thing that people hate me to say, that I'll tell my daughter and my niece and any other young woman in my care, first, these are things that I believe are important qualities that you should look for in a man. The top priority being his relationship with God.
Amen.
And that's not something that should be a secret. It's not something that you shouldn't be able to see, because the proof is right there. Either it is or it isn't. And then the second thing, how does he treat you? Does he value you? Does he respect you?
Yes.
Does he listen to you? Does he take into consideration your opinion? Because if you're going to have to follow him and trust that he's going to make a good decision, does he even listen enough to know how you feel about things, even if he's going to have the final say? So I'm going to have that conversation as well. Also making sure we tell daughters, you don't have to go. I mean, it's nice to be in a relationship. I know God created woman for man. I'm not going to pretend that that's not the truth. But don't kill yourself proving yourself to somebody.
Exactly.
If you are a good woman, or if a man is a good man, the proof is there.
Exactly.
It's not hidden.
And some of the advice I would say is that make sure you fall in love with your own self.
Love yourself first.
Because you will pour so much into somebody else and forget about yourself. And then you'll come back and be like, you done missed all this time. And you're like, I could have been doing this, and this.
And the less that you love yourself, the more nonsense you accept from other people. So just like you said, love yourself and know your worth. Understand your worth. Understand your value, because if you don't understand that, then who else is going to value you when you don't even know what you're worth? And if you've discounted your worth for years, but hopefully if we're talking to them at such a young age, when they're old enough to start understanding, we can't pretend like, that they don't, like right now, I have 2 teenagers in this house, and I've heard both of them at one point in time or another say something about boys. So that means I can't pretend like maybe they don't have some type of interest. So
boys stink.
They do. But you have to start having the conversations early enough that they can understand it, and then make sure that you are modeling it, because you can say anything. But if a child is watching you do things over and over and over again that are really bad, not just for you, but for them too, how can you go back and tell them one thing that's contradictory to what you've been doing?
Right.
So make sure that your talk matches your walk.
Exactly.
So I believe modeling and having the conversations at an early age before some rockhead boy get in their ear.
So let's go back to this catering. What's our okay and not so okay in catering?
So
I hope my hour ain't up.
It's I'm timing today, but before I answer that question, Heaven says we have to take care of ourselves first and love ourselves first. If we take good care of ourselves, our home, then our skills that we'll take into homemaking and motherhood will show based on how we care for ourselves.
Right.
Amen.
Yeah.
And I think that's good, great minds think alike, Heaven, because that's literally, I think your phone had died. That's literally what I just told her. Your skills will speak. You wouldn't even have to prove it to somebody. It's what India say, either it ain't no substitute for the truth. Either it is or it isn't. The truth, it needs no proof. Either it is or it isn't. You can literally see it. So I agree, and I'm agreeing. And I forgot what you asked me.
I was saying to you about this catering. How do we What's the
What?
let me cater to you
On your birthday, okay. Can on your birthday or sweetest day. But in real life,
dinner, t-shirt, and so much more. No, none of that. Inspired me from the heart, can't nothing tear us apart. You're all I wanted from me. No.
I don't know about that. Like I said, I feel like if a man treats you well, most women, I think we give whatever we get. So when you give women love and peace, she multiplies that and gives that back to you. So if you have somebody that's treating you well, I don't see it makes you want to do nice things. You know, if you have somebody that is a hard worker and a good caretaker, you gonna try to have dinner. Even sometimes you might cook dinner that ain't your husband. I ain't gonna lie, I done cooked some dinners before. I fix plates sometimes.
You sure?
I do sometimes because
Fried
if you
that chicken and smelled like fried chicken.
I could cook more than chicken. Don't.
No, I'm just saying they
be-
was hounding me about smelling like
Smell like fried chicken. Okay. Yeah.
You don't like that.
So I think if somebody, I feel like women, we give back whatever we get. We multiply that though. So why not? If you have a man that treats you well and he respects you and he's kind and patient with you, why wouldn't you? Unless you're just an evil woman.
Now he's doing this and he's doing that and he loves me. But he loves me. So,
now me doing some nice things for you sometimes, I'm still not about to turn into the
Susie Homemaker?
I'm not, unless I am. Either I am or I'm not. So it's not my job, it's not my responsibility to do these things if I'm not your wife. If I do it sometimes, that's nice, but don't expect it, because you're gonna have unfulfilled expectations if you expected these things from me. I think when people want things to be official, they make them official. And if you don't, you have to be satisfied with what you receive, because you're not entitled to what you're not owed.
Can I still be in a marriage, can I still be an independent woman and be submissive?
I believe you really can. I believe that, I believe you can be independent in some areas. Now, I don't think that you can just say, I'm not going to listen to my husband. I'm not going to follow his lead. But you can I think you can have things going for yourself, you know, and be mindful that they shouldn't interfere with your responsibility to your family first.
Mm-hmm.
But after my responsibilities are met, and if I still want to, I mean, we heard with Ruth, she was a businesswoman.
Leave Ruth alone.
She was a businesswoman, honey. So it leads me to believe that you have to have some independence to be a businesswoman. So yes, I feel you can be independent and still be a submissive woman. I don't think you have to choose between one or the other. Mm-hmm. What my skill set is has nothing to do with if I can listen and respect you in this house.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's what I believe. So heaven says, just like if a man just like if a man can financially provide for himself, we know he can take that into a marriage. I love these two personalities together. This is my Lucy. Who am I?
No, well, you don't want to be Ethel.
I don't want to be Ethel. I'm not Ethel. Ethel even.
Lucy and Ethel or
Thelma
Laverne and Shirley. That's always supposed to be.
Thelma and Louise, but we're not driving off that cliff. But Thelma and Louise, they
was riders. They was like, what?
Yeah. So we're not driving off that cliff at the end like that, but the rest of it, like that, yeah.
Love you still.
I love you too. I really do.
Okay.
You solid. You know what? She is solid.
I'm solid.
I don't care what's happening. She's solid. And when I start, when the crazy kick in, She be like,
gotta
she
have
be
a
wanting to be like,
village.
psh,
Gotta
get it
have a
together.
village.
You do. You need a village. You cannot be a one man or one woman show. It is so draining. It will just deplete you. And you were put here on this earth to be in relationship with people. Those people who always say, I don't have friends, I don't have anybody. I want you to fix that because it wasn't supposed to be that way.
No.
God did not put you on this earth by yourself. So I don't want you to keep having that narrative, okay? We're going to change the narrative. It's September. In a few months, it's going to be a new year. I know it's not your accountability talk today, but that just came to my mind.
You know, yesterday was the 3rd of September.
Do you remember?
No, that was, I wasn't going to sing that.
That was not
sing.
That. What?
It was the 3rd of September.
Oh, Papa was a pro. Wherever he left
And
his
that
hat
was the
was
day.
his home.
Dang, that
We
was
got to
bold.
talk about that one day too. Topic being a Rolling Stone, because that's a different topic though.
But okay, well, I think our time almost up.
Is it?
We're gonna let you get back to your baked beans and what else you got?
Heaven said, I do need a village. It's definitely draining. Heaven, say that again. Say it again, because this life, and you need somebody that you can vent to, honestly. You need somebody that, because every day is not a sunny day. I don't want nobody to tell me every day to wake up and smile and pretend like
I do tell her to smile.
Right,
I
but
like her smile.
let me get this cry out or this anger out first.
She told me the same way.
God did not tell you that you can't be
Get
angry.
up out the bed.
He said, do not let the sun set on your wrath.
So it stay in the house all day.
You can be angry, but baby, when that sun starts going down, you better get it together. So I like, because I can be angry, I can get it out, I can vent, I can say, I don't want to have nobody in my life I can't say how I really feel. Whether it's right or wrong. Now, if it's wrong, you can tell me about myself. But let me at least get it off my chest, because the weight can be heavy sometimes. And Queen, she'll listen. Even if she'll start telling you, but Mari, you got to, and I'm like, I don't want to.
She don't want to.
I don't want to give grace right now. I want to fight right now.
Regardless.
I want to fight and cuss.
Okay, this ain't what the video about.
I want to fight and cuss. Let me get this out first.
Heaven, this is not what the video about.
See?
What she said?
Nothing. She ain't said nothing, but no.
Yes, she did.
I already. She said she need a village.
Oh, she need a village.
You do. You need a village. You have a queen. Oh. Everybody need a queen.
Everybody need a queen.
You were supposed to say everybody need a Mari.
Everybody need a queen.
You see how selfish she is? She's thinking about herself. Anyway.
We still got 18 minutes.
We still got 18. I don't think we didn't really did we want a guy to come in on this today?
It don't have to be a guy, it could be a woman.
But did we really want to hear a man's point of view today?
Where's your what was that last time you said was trying to come in, but
I can't remember.
Your nephew?
My cousin.
Your cousin?
I don't know. You know, it's the holiday today, so I know y'all probably grilling
and liquor on the ground, and
I hope not on the ground. Pour it in your cup. Don't pour it on the ground. But yeah, I'm glad that I'm always glad. I don't care if nobody ever joined in our conversation. It can be something that we say and share that somebody might hear later, and it might touch them right when they needed to hear it, or just make you think. Because I think another thing too, some people have conversations because they want to force people to agree.
Right.
That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. Oh Lord. That's not what it's about. Conversations, you should literally be able to talk and listen. If what somebody is saying makes sense, you take what you need to take. If not, you leave what you need to leave. And then you be respectful. You know, girl, if he fights you, I'm not about to be, I'm a help, but still.
You got the Holy Ghost.
So.
Anyway, question. Are we the only ones that's supposed to be submissive? Are men supposed to be submissive?
Because, I think it all depends on your relationship with God and if you believe the word. If you believe it, you guys submit to each other.
Exactly.
So I think that's
so why is it always just talked about as a woman?
Because I think more often maybe they're talking about the natural order of how the home is ran, and maybe in that aspect
I'm just tired of people picking the Bible and choosing to, because that makes no sense to me. I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but a lot of times men often gravitate to saying certain things.
And they forget about the other portion of that verse, because it doesn't just say wives submit to your husbands as you do to Christ, but it starts with, husbands love your wives. And the way that God loved us, as Christ loved the church, and he laid down his life and died for us. So, baby, you gonna die for me? What you gonna do? You gonna die? I want you to love me that much where you are willing to sacrifice. If somebody loves you that much, and they're willing to sacrifice for you like that, and they care for you the way God cares for you, why wouldn't you submit? Let's just be honest. So I think sometimes maybe when the men that want to fight you into submission, they need to go back and check, how am I loving her? What does that look like? Why would she want to follow me?
Why do you think some men view it as you being ungrateful? If because you're not doing it the way they feel like you should be doing it.
If you're not doing what like they feel?
Being submissive.
Well, I think people are naturally selfish by nature. People like things the way they like them, but it may not always be the best when you have to take two people into consideration. So I think anybody hopes to have things the way they want them to be. But then the flip side of it is, does it make sense for my partner? Is it good for my partner? Is it just beneficial for me, or does it benefit both of us?
I'm talking about outside of a marriage too. If you're calling that person a partner, how do you...
We got to talk about partnership one day too, because...
Lord have mercy.
Are you a partner? I use that word loosely.
Are you a partner?
Are you a partner?
Are you a partner?
We're going to talk about that next time.
I'm single. I like a feather. And I enjoy it. I didn't think I would, but I enjoy being to myself. I don't have to hear nobody rubbing their feet together and sawdust being on the bottom of the sheets. I don't have to.
I'm sometimes
I do teeter-totter in my mind, but then I'd be like,
sometimes it's nice to not. Hey, how are you?
Who is that?
DeQuanda. I hate mispronouncing people's names because I hate having my name mispronounced. How are you?
Hey.
But it is nice sometimes if you don't have to always take somebody into consideration, because that's the thing right there. That sacrifice part can be a hard thing to do, but it's also a beautiful thing to have somebody that you can depend on and rely on, and just companionship.
Most definitely. Mm-hmm. So, with being submissive, do you feel like it's 50-50? Is submissive 50-50?
I don't really think it's 50-50. I don't think it's 50-50. I do feel like in a marriage that the woman is probably going to be the more submissive partner, because
look at you with your little phone.
My low battery. Mm-hmm. Because God did say. Mm-hmm. Sabrina says, "Say no to struggle love." Hey, Sabrina.
We still saying no.
Sabrina said, "We not forgetting about that." Sabrina, we still say no.
We still saying no. We ain't struggling no more.
We're not struggling no more for the sake of love. No. Because that's another thing we got to talk about one day too. Some people, what they have learned about love is so toxic or dysfunctional that you can't say yes to that. You'll be struggling forever. But I do think in a marriage that I believe that men should be leaders. I believe that they should lead. I don't think that, I believe in gender roles. I believe that I don't want to challenge your role. I want to let you do what you were already created to do. And I want to do what I was created to do. And we should complement each other and we can grow together on that.
I'm not going to stop you if you want to do what? The dishes?
Now, if you want to do the dishes and clean up, if you want to help, I'm going to let you help because that's nice. That's nice if you want to help. But I'm not going to feel like we both have the same response. Now, if you my roommate, that's different. You're not going to be my roommate because I'm not looking for a roommate. But in a husband-wife relationship, I believe that the man is the leader. That's how God made it. Even the things that you don't like, if that's what it is, that's what it is. God made the decision. Who are we to challenge it? That's what I hear a lot nowadays, though. Oh, things have changed so much. Times have changed. Times have changed, but the word remains the same. So that part is what it is. And that's why I think women have to be wiser about when you accept a marriage proposal. Can I submit? Am I ready to do what I'm supposed to do, even if he's not doing his best? Because it wasn't optional. It wasn't like, well, if he makes all the best decisions,
right,
then you submit and follow. No.
Right.
So understanding now what that word really means, I wouldn't just get married again if I know I wasn't willing to do it. So I'm going to take a better look at who I allowed to choose me. Sabrina, she said, why aren't men trained to be husbands? Like women are raised to be independent wives. Even if he's not doing his best, we often forget that part.
Girl,
Yeah, have it. So Sabrina,
I don't have us on here another hour.
You'll have us on here another hour, Sabrina. I don't know.
Why?
I'm gonna speak. I think I'm gonna just say, I hate always saying it's a cultural thing. But I think so often.
I believe so too.
I'm going to just say it. I believe so often in the Black community. I'm going to say African American in particular, because I've seen the Black community in other countries too. So it's different. But I believe in the United States, in the Black community, so many men have seen their moms be single moms and carry so much weight that is normal to them. So what is being a husband to you? They may not understand that part. And Heaven, you said it perfectly. Even if he's not making the best decision and you sign up, you agree, you take that proposal, you have accepted it, y'all got married, you did the whole shebang and had this beautiful wedding. Mm-hmm. When the wedding is over, it's time to do your part now. And if you don't want to do your part, you probably shouldn't get married. Because it didn't say when he does this, then you do this. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what he's supposed to do. You got to you do it.
Do it.
And that can be hard sometimes. So I think, getting the ring is the easy part. I know some ladies will say that's not. It is. That part is the easy part. You could be married next month if you wanted to be. But marrying somebody that you can actually do life with, build with and grow with and just be the best you can be in all areas, live up to your God-given potential, that's something different. Yeah. So I wouldn't advise just jumping into that. Heaven said, right, Sabrina, I believe my husband was trained. At times when he was missing it, his dad would come over and make sure he got him together. Heaven, baby, that's a whole.
Where them daddy-in-laws?
Who is holding you accountable? That is so important. That is somebody that man or that woman respects, that can talk some sense into them. Because when you probably done said everything, or even if you haven't said much, because if people care about you, they see what you're doing or what you're not doing. And if they can see, just like my friend, if I can see some things that need some attention in her, I'm not going to beat around the bush for the sake of not hurting her feelings. I'm going to be respectful and say it in the best way that I can. But I need to come to her. I don't need to go to somebody else to tell them about her. I need to come to her because it's really your obligation. You know, God didn't say turn the left cheek if you see somebody out of line. You supposed to go to them in love and tell them, hey.
And her dad, I mean, his dad doing that, that is, you don't find too many, you know, fathers like that step in and be like, look, son, you're not
meeting the mark. It's not right.
You're
not gonna mess this up. Having a good woman, she a good mother. You're gonna get a good wife. You're gonna get this together. Praise God, heaven that you have a father-in-law like that, because
that's right.
There are some people who will just say, you know what, this is not my business.
Right.
And if it's not your business to correct the people that you say you love, whose business is it? Like, if you love, how can you love them, but you watch them destroy some things that God blessed them with? Because it said that he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor. So you
messing up your favor,
you
boy.
Messing up your favor.
You better get this together.
You better get it together. So I don't believe you can love somebody and have their best interest in mind, but when you see them out of order and out of line, you just turn your cheek and say, that's not my business. That is your business. Or else what kind of love is that?
Or allow them to come to you with all that shenanigans and stuff as a man and say, well, you know, she was over there doing this, and this, and I didn't like it, and this and that. Well, what did you do?
What did you do? Heaven says, I saw this early on when his dad brought him to meet my mom at 16. He sent him in a sweater and a tie. And my mother was like, why does he look like an old man? Presentation, baby. He went over there. He looked like he was going to be responsible. He looked like he was ready.
That episode when
Presentation matters.
Dabness came over. He was going with Vanessa off the Cosby Show. And he came over to meet Bill and them, Dabness Bricky.
I don't remember this episode.
Never watches TV.
Just tell me about it and stop.
He was like that. He was.
Stop TV shaming.
Made up a new. God, now we got TV shaming.
TV shaming.
But he came over like that. You know, and they was looking at him like
that's good and that matters, because how do you show up? If you coming to meet somebody's parents, how do you show up? Imagine if we came over there in a move some dress, 6-inch stiletto heels with purple hair. The man wouldn't even probably take us in the house.
Talking about my coochie pink and my booty hole.
Lord, I rebuke it. That is just that song. I'm like,
that is not
sisters.
No,
but I ain't gonna lie. When I hear it a little bit, just a little bit, but I would never sing it. And
I don't think it's that part that you hear that makes you.
I liked about it. Like, I'm out here in Miami. That's the part that I like.
I have never heard it.
I'm gonna let her hear this.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. But that is good, Heaven. Heaven found your husband found a good wife, and
he will obtain favor.
He will obtain favor, and you have a good husband. They good together.
That's good.
They bought a house. I think it's been 2 years ago. They bought a beautiful house. They have a beautiful. Where my little buddy? He really helped me when we were looking at houses. He was really helpful with these home tours. He examined every nook and cranny. If there was toys in that house, he thoroughly checked the toys out to make sure that they were in good condition, even though they didn't come with the house. But love can be a beautiful thing.
It can.
When it's really love, because some things that people present to you is not love.
And you know what? If I would have known then what I know now about the word and really was diligent in reading and studying and stuff, you know, not to say that my marriage would have not went to pits, but I think I could have did better with myself.
DeQuanda says she can't stand that song. I don't know why. It's just a little bit catchy. God help me. Lay hands on me, because I don't even know why, but when I hear it sometimes, my east side come out and I be No, but not in front of nobody. I don't really let nobody know that. She know because she like hear me singing a little bit sometimes.
And
But
I was like, where did that come from?
I've got to stay off TikTok.
I had never heard it until you told me. And then I saw the video of the girl talking about she was going to sing it at church. And I'm like, are you okay, ma'am?
It's some people, they don't care.
I see.
They just don't care.
We gonna
They don't care.
Bless them. Oh, that's our clock.
But see, she be trying to front, but don't let her fool y'all.
That was the clock, not
right.
What is the name of that song? We're not promoting that song.
I don't know the name of that song.
Thank you. I'm glad you don't.
But I think that the takeaway for me, always,
Us.
Am I missing something? Why is it not showing? Oh. She said, can we touch on age differences when dating? Like 25 and 32, for example. Have anybody ever dated with a 7-year difference, and how did it go? She said it's called Pound Town. That's the name of the song. Pound Town. So,
yeah, I was married 9 years. He was 9 years older than me.
And I've been married up to 6 years older, and then I've dated several times. One with maybe even an 11-year age difference, and I think I prefer older. I do believe that women mature faster than men. I don't think that's a lie. So I feel like they almost have to be, and I'm not going to say everybody because it's not always an absolute, but I feel like often when they're older, y'all are almost on the same level as far as maturity, because they seem to mature, slower than women.
Well,
and they've lived a little bit too.
I have a different view because I felt like I was starting to outgrow him because he was immature.
He was
at that
age.
Yeah,
well, that's why I said it's not always an absolute, because you can be an old fool. I use that example all the time. I don't believe that just because you're older, it makes you wiser or better. Sometimes it's giving you more experience, but some people, they don't even learn from the experiences.
No.
They keep having the same thing over and over and doing the same thing over. But I do think that I prefer it.
He's about to be 60 and he's
still crazy. Is he still crazy?
He's slowed down a little bit.
So he's not as crazy. Lord, you didn't say one ball. I'm not even. I have dated a guy that was younger, but he was very mature. I have, and
I done had my ups and my downs.
I loved him.
Now,
I did love him.
Okay.
Queen, I don't know if she think that my heart don't work or something, but I be loving people.
No, I just didn't expect for you to say you loved him. We gotta talk about this later. Like, what? Wait.
It was
threw me off.
It's past tense. I loved him.
But I didn't know you did. Who?
I'm not about to say his name. No. I'm not about to give you initial because.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, she did.
So, I have dated.
She did past tense.
It's not past tense. It's just a different way now. It's not the same. It's not that kind of love. Hey, anyway, Anitra.
Look. What was? Dang, I was going to tell you something.
You was going to tell me that you out here in Miami.
So, no.
Look at for the hoochie daddies. Okay, go ahead.
It's called Pound Town. Anyway.
Pound Town.
So, my last, whatever, situationship, he was 3 years younger than me. And he was very mature. Antoine. So, that was fine. But when I was younger and I dated somebody like in their 20s, Lord have mercy. He was jumping behind closets and scaring me and
what?
Just too much. I'm like, boo. I'm like
what the hell?
Like
jumping behind closets.
It's time for you to go.
She said, Anitra said she loved the yellow on you.
Don't
she look like a ray of sunshine?
I gotta go and deal with these kids tomorrow.
She gotta go deal with the kids tomorrow. Then next weekend she gonna come back sneezing and coughing and stuff because the kids that made her sick.
Lick your shoulder.
And biting. Yuck. Don't be licking my shoulder. Heaven said we take our experiences, learn from them, and grow from them.
Amen.
Amen, Heaven. Amen. And I did, sometimes I think it does backfire on you when you date some men that are old. I remember a few years ago, I was dating a man who might have been about 15 years older. Jeez. And sometimes, I didn't know he lied about his age, though.
He didn't look it.
Everybody don't age well. I know they say black don't crack.
He didn't look like Pawpaw.
No, he didn't look like Pawpaw. He looked like Grandpa a little bit. But he was nice. He was very smart, and he taught me a lot.
Did he walk like with his hand like this?
He didn't walk with his hand like that, but he did. You know how sometimes if you don't sit up straight, they get that little hump. But that's what I think sometimes when if they like older and they have
can you really truly, were you attracted to him or you just attracted to his money?
He did. He was very much financially stable, and he did buy me really nice things, and he took me out a lot. But like I said, the number one thing that I actually was attracted to, he was very smart, and he was a very good businessman, so he taught me a lot.
Okay.
He actually introduced me to real estate, so that part is what I was more intrigued about.
Oh, okay.
I used to wonder, how are you able to, where did you get this financial freedom from? I want to learn all about that part, and the rest of it was just like a perk that came with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he was a little bit wicked too, so. But he was smart. So hey, seasons come and they go. You get what you get. And you keep going. You would know when it's a season and when it's a reason. You'll know. Mm-hmm. You'll know.
Because I remember that season. And I'm just like, oof, what am I doing? And
we got to start asking yourself, what are you doing? It's time to do something else.
Exactly.
It's time to do something else. I'm trying to see if something's on my lip gloss. It's time to do something else. When you question and what am I doing all the time? Mm-hmm. It's time to do something else.
Who is that, Anitra? What's she saying?
She said she loved that yellow on you.
Oh, that's right.
Anitra, Anitra, I thought today was Sunday because we didn't.
Saturday she had to work until something. What?
Anitra?
9? Yeah.
Yeah, Saturday, but I had so much going on this week.
She was.
I had to get life together. You know how you gotta. Sometimes you be like, "Let me get life together," because
it was like flowers in the attic. She was up there.
These kids, and that's why I'm thankful. You will definitely learn your strengths, and you will learn what you're good at and what still needs to be worked when you have some situations that come at you that you really did not plan for. And I think you'll start to see too. You can tell leaders because they will function under pressure. So I just had to function on something else that day. So I told Quinn, we got to get back and get our tea time going because we need to talk. I need to see what Anitra got going on. I need to know if everybody okay.
In a couple of days, we got some announcements to make.
We do. We have been working on some things. Y'all, it's September. It is literally September, and this is the time for me when I start to feel the pressure that I put on myself, because I do apply pressure to myself. I never want to wake up and look back and see that I've wasted time and I never know what I did with the time, because you don't get time back. That's the one thing. You can lose money, you can lose friends, you can lose relationships, but you can't, and once you lose the time, you don't get it back.
No.
So I like to start really taking inventory of my year when September starts to roll around, because if you made some plans and you set some goals, it's crunch time. It is crunch time, and I hate for a year to end and I'm looking back and I'm like, what did I do this year? What did I accomplish? I like to know. So we have worked on some things that we're going to tell you ladies about. And they're also going to help you with hopefully managing your time and your goals too. Because we want to see everybody win. Everybody.
Well, our clock went off.
Our clock went off. It is 1 hour. And I think we got a little feedback today.
We got enough.
That was pretty good. Anitra, I ain't even going to tell you how Queen was. I think she was being confrontational today because we didn't have any men come up today in this conversation, Anitra. And she started saying somebody's name that might normally pop up. And I'm like, you just trying to pick a fight today, huh? You want to get it popping. So, I don't know.
I can't help that, John.
Lord have mercy. She liked trouble, sorry. I think. I think she liked trouble, but submission. So what is our last? What's our takeaway? It's submission is for husbands. That's the first part. Either you are single or you married. So I don't believe you owe it to a boyfriend. It doesn't mean you disrespect him. It just means that he doesn't get husband privileges with a boyfriend title. Submission, once you are married, is not optional. It's the right thing to do, whether he is leading at his best or whether he is falling short a little bit. Look and see who's leading that man before you sign up for that.
Catering and submission is two separate things.
It's two separate things. You can do nice things for your man and still not feel like he's the person that is in charge and making the decisions for y'all, because that's husband. That's not boyfriend.
Continue to have boundaries when you are catering.
Set your boundaries in life and everything. Boundaries are important. What will I do and what won't I do? And for how long
will I do that?
Will I do some things?
Because you don't want to get attached. And you start playing house, and then you expect house to be house, and it's like, no,
it's
not.
We're
just gonna continue to play house.
We're not gonna play. Let's play house. Remember that song?
I don't know that song.
It's a rap song. I rap a little bit, y'all. One day I'm gonna let y'all. Yes, I do. She don't know that I can hit that flow a little bit. Let me have a little. Let me have a shot of tequila and watch me rap.
I'm rating.
I'm not about to rap right now, Queen, because it's not that time yet.
She about submission. Talking about submission.
She's singing self-destruction. She just took the self-destruction beat and turned it into a submission song. When I hit this flow for her one day, though, she ain't gonna know what to do.
Can I be on the ones and twos?
You can be on the ones and twos if you want to.
Do they still be on the ones and twos? The stuff is different now. You know, you can just pull up stuff on YouTube and call yourself a DJ.
You can. But I think we talked about some good points related to it. Anitra said she's going to watch it in the replay. Yes, Anitra, watch the replay so you can hear Queen trying to start some trouble. I wasn't for her shenanigans today because I just need to recuperate. So I wasn't starting trouble with her today.
You did good.
I did good. Okay, thank you.
Next Saturday, though.
Thank you, Heaven. And great, you made great points today too, Heaven.
You did. Thank you,
really
Heaven.
did. It's always a pleasure to keep in touch.
I smell barbecue.
Yeah, we threw some burgers, and she told me not to. I don't know why I can't say dogs. Hot dogs on the grill. So let me go whip up my 2-minute sides. That I'm. Lord. So anyway, peeps, I hope that you had a very restful day today. I know it's Labor Day, but I hope you wasn't laboring. I hope you were able to get some rest today and enjoy some time with your family. For all the moms who have kids that are back in school or are about to go back, I just pray for a safe and productive school year for the students. And I pray for everything that you need for you as the parent for you this year as well.
Amen.
Because we can't forget about the people. If we not in a good place, the kids can't be in a good place either. So I pray that for us. And ladies, next Saturday we're gonna get back on our schedule. We didn't even have tea today because it was hot. It's like 90 degrees. That's not why. That ain't why we ain't had no tea.
No, she just didn't fix us.
I didn't even make us tea today. I was slacking today. Did you want some?
No.
I'm gonna make her some.
Coffee that I need in the morning. You're my
I'm gonna make her some tea. So she can really sing. One day, y'all, I'm gonna get her when she's singing. I'm gonna tape her sing. I'm not gonna sing back up on this camera.
Why?
So because I can't. You're not about to embarrass me and be laughing at me.
You're not gonna rap. You're not gonna sing.
I am one day.
Lord, what do you do?
So anyway, you all have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. And next Saturday,
it's on and popping.
It's on and popping. And we're going to start to set a time because we want to make sure that you know in advance. So it's not like we didn't know. We're going to get this together, y'all. Just roll with us, okay? You ain't got to die with us, but just ride with us.
Just ride.
You ain't got to be ride or die. So anyway, you all enjoy the rest of your evening and have a great week.
You ain't going to do it?
Okay, one time.